Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome to the Jayda InStitches show. Welcome to a live crochet along. It is Monday, November the 27th. Is that where we're at? 27? I think so. Yes, Monday, November the 27th. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. For all of our American friends, I hope you had a wonderful long holiday weekend. And I don't know if today's a day off for you or not, but if it is, I hope you're enjoying it. And if not, if it's just a regular Monday like it is for us, then welcome to Monday, the start of a new week. We are charging. We're charging ahead into the festive season. It gets so busy. I feel like we're kind of on one of those big slides that goes that's like built into a hill that you start to just pick up speed the further down the hill you get. That's kind of how it feels this time of year. So welcome everybody. I want to just take a quick moment to thank everyone who popped into our shop and took part in our Black Friday sale this weekend. It ends today. Today's the last day, Cyber Monday. So if you're interested in anything in our Etsy shop, the link's up top and it'll be down below as well. It's been quite a weekend, so thank you very much. I've been busy kind of interacting with people and helping. If you've had trouble downloading any of your files, we do have some options on how to download them. So don't suffer. if for some reason you've got problems, then message us. We'll help you out. It's not you, it's the software. All of the different softwares on the different devices all act a little bit differently, and we can't download files via the Etsy app, which doesn't make sense because we can buy things via the Etsy app, but you actually have to log into your account using an internet browser in order to download the files. So if you do need any help, please don't feel that you shouldn't reach out. Reach out, we'll help you. All right, what are we making today? You might have noticed this cute little house sitting on the table here in front of me. For any of you who did the folk art calendar blanket along with us back in 2019, this is the little townhouse that we made. We actually had several different versions of this townhouse. We had 4 main versions. There was 2 versions of a single story and 2 versions of a tall second story house. You could mix and match the roof lines, and obviously you could really play with the colors and where you put the doors and the windows, and there was lots of fun options for decorating. And the idea in the blanket was to make houses that were kind of significant in view to your town or your part of the world, something that looked like the houses where you come from. And I just had so much fun designing these. So it got me thinking it would be really cute to make some of these little houses, but smaller somehow, and hang them on the tree. I thought they would make really cute little tree ornaments. And then I thought, gee whiz, maybe I should just try and make them gingerbread colored and decorate them. And that's the main idea for this morning. So we're going to see how that goes. We are going to use the folk art house tutorial. We have that linked in the description down below. So if you want to see how to make every version of these houses, we've got that linked in the description box down below. I'm probably going to start with one that looks very similar to this, sort of like your squat one-story style house. I'm going to use some gingerbread colored yarn. So this is Yosemite in Heartland by Lion Brand. I used it to make our gingerbread men candy cane holders, and I think it's like the perfect gingerbread color. I've also got some other colors here. I might make another one if I have time in this almond. It's a skein tone. It's kind of it's a slightly lighter cookie color, so I might use that. And I've got lots of white. I have more below here the table for decorating with frosting. So we're going to see how far we get, and if it works out, I can foresee making a whole bunch of different little houses to hang on the tree. And I don't just think that they would look cute in gingerbread color. I'm thinking like a miniature version of just this with this coloring would look really cute, like a whole bunch of little houses in different colors hanging on the tree. So the idea is that I'm going to downsize my hook. I'm going to continue using a size 4 medium weight yarn. I'm using acrylic today. And instead of a 5.5 millimeter, which is what I used for the entire blanket project, that's an I or a 9, I'm going down to a 4 millimeter. So this is a G or a 6. So I'm dropping down 1.5 full hook sizes because I want to make my stitches tighter and smaller so that I end up with a stiffer piece of fabric, and I feel like that will hang upright on its own. Like it won't want to curl, it won't be too bendy or soft. So I'm going to downsize the whole thing so that I have kind of like, I'm going for something that's maybe about this big as opposed to this. And if you're wondering, this is 6.5 inches by 6 inches. So that's pretty large with the G6 or with the I or 9 hook. So I'm going to use the G6, same sized yarn. I'm going to see how much it pairs down. I'm going to do some light decorating, and then if it's still floppy, like if you make one of these along with me and you feel that it still doesn't want to kind of like maybe the ends want to curl in or something, you could always glue the whole thing to a cardboard backing or a plastic backing. You know, if you've got cereal or cookie boxes or something, just, you know, like cut out the shape that basically mirrors this, but just a little bit smaller, and then just glue it to the back of your little house. Because it's and then maybe paint the cardboard, and that way it's just got like a plain black back or something. The other thing you could do is make a second one and stitch it to the back of it, especially if you're going to do a whole bunch of crazy applique. This house is actually made for another project. I was making them for the folk art calendar blanket, so because it was going to function as an applique, it didn't matter that I had any of this sort of on the back. But I have ways of making it look a little neater if I'm just going to have the back exposed for hanging on the tree. So that's the plan. G6 hook, acrylic size 4 medium weight yarn in some gingerbready colors to start. I've got a yarn needle, a stitch marker, my measuring tape. I may or may not need a needle and thread. I probably won't, because there really isn't anything on here that is beads or buttons. This is all embroidery with yarn. I've got a little bit of ribbon for hanging, so I can hang it at the top, and of course a pair of scissors. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to be using the first story, the one story house with the front facing roof, and I'm going to do the whole thing in, actually it'll probably, it doesn't really matter which one I use. I'm going to use the front facing roof version, but I'm going to do the whole thing in gingerbread color as opposed to changing colors at the roof line, and I'm going to just do some decorating with white yarn. So that's the plan. We'll see how this goes today. So that was a long intro. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Mr. InStitches is in the house. I have an eggnog
morning,
coffee.
Everybody. Welcome. Happy Monday. We had a gifted membership from Nico.
Oh my gosh, Nico, thank you. I didn't even see it.
That was earlier.
Was it? Oh my gosh, I've been... Nico, yes, there you are. Thank you so much. And Bernadette won it. Congratulations, Bernadette. Welcome to the family. Okay. Sorry, I'm just collecting my thoughts here. I'm trying to decide where I'm going to start. I'm going to move my little tools to the side just so they're not in the way.
Dawn was asking if you could make this for a hot pad, the little house.
I would say yes.
I don't see why not, as long as you use the right materials, make it thick.
I would go with cotton yarn. 1. I would stick to the 5.5 millimeter hook. 2. I would make 2 identical houses. 3. And stitch them all together, but after you decorated them, if you're going to decorate them. If you're putting a heavy pot down, then some applique isn't really going to make it sit tilted or anything, especially if you add like a little something to the roof too. So yeah, I would just make 2. Oh, unless you wanted to hold 2 strands of cotton yarn together, that would also make it thick, but it would also make it a lot bigger. But maybe you might want that because I think pot holders or pot pads can be a little bit bigger all the way around. So absolutely, that would be a really cute thing. And then you could crochet just a little hanging loop up top here to just sort of hang it up to the side if you wanted to. All right, I'm going to get started. The base of we start at the bottom and work our way up to the top of the roof pitch. And I'm going to use my gingerbread color. I'm going to start with a slip knot. I'm going to chain 19, and I'm using this much smaller hook because I'm hoping to have a smaller overall shaped house without changing the pattern, and some tension which is tighter. All right, so there's 19. Already it's going to be much smaller. That's my foundation chain. Oh, this is good. Okay. So foundation chain of 19. We're going to skip the first chain from the hook. We're going to find the second one. We're going to half double crochet into it. I'm using the half double crochet stitch. We're going to half double crochet in each of those chains all the way across. So we have a base number in our house. So each row of our little house will be 18 half double crochet stitches across every row. I'm not crocheting tightly. I'm just really giving into this smaller hook with this yarn. So I'm trying to keep my hands relaxed, but I'm just letting that smaller hook do the work for me to make it a smaller, tighter little bit of fabric. So I will finish row 1. I think I'll get row 2 done, and then I'll hold it up against my original house just so you can sort of see the difference between what a hook makes, basically. So this is all the same weight yarn. It's acrylic, it's size 4, medium. I haven't changed the yarn at all. I'm just changing the hook size, and the stitches are all the same count too. Chain 1 turn at the end of each row and half double crochet in each stitch. So always skip your turning chain, half double crochet in each stitch all the way back. And that gives us 18 stitches per row. Everybody grabbing a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, get yourself nice and comfortable. Pull out a project if you're just sort of here for the company today. And welcome, we're glad to have you. We had a really busy week last week. We live streamed every week just to sort of kick off the festive season. That was a lot of fun. I can't believe how much stuff I managed to get done. We've been hosting a big sale at our shop all weekend, I should say, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today. So that's been busy too. When you get to the end of the row, especially when you're doing half double crochets, don't miss that last stitch. It sometimes is like pulled down the edge a little bit. So just half double crochet into it, don't miss it. Make sure you have 18 in each row. So I've got 2 rows now complete. Using the G6 hook or the 4mm, same weight yarn. Look how much smaller it is than the original. Can you all see that? So that is the same stitch count, but a smaller hook. And that is much, much smaller. Eggnog in my coffee. Ah, it's so good. Much smaller. So let's see. Do a little bit of measuring here. 5.5 all the way. It grows up to about 6 inches all the way across, but starts at about 5.5. And that's the original. And this one is 4 inches. So I've lost 1.5 inches. That's great because I'm going for a much smaller shaped house. So chain 1 turn. And I want to work half double crochet in each stitch across for 8 rows in total. So I have 6 more rows to go. I'll have 18 stitches at the end of every single row. And I want 8 rows in total. And this is all half double crochet. So once again, I'm not crocheting tightly. I'm just going to let that smaller hook do the work for me. Welcome, welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, I'm making a new tree ornament based on our folk art townhouse applique pattern. So exact same pattern as the tutorial and the pattern that we've got, but I'm downsizing my hook and I've opted for a gingerbread color yarn because I think I'm going to start with one that's kind of looks like a gingerbread house, but the longer I sit here staring at my little applique, the more I think that just a whole bunch of these little houses, miniature houses in different house colors hung on the tree would look so stinking cute. And then if you wanted to, because they're tree ornaments, you could get fancy. You could start putting sequins on them. You could decorate them with beads and buttons, or if you had some like tinsel or sparkle yarn or anything like that, because the fun thing about tree ornaments is that the sky's the limit in terms of bling. The more sparkly and reflective it is, the better. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows done. So I'm halfway done the base part of the house. I've got 4 more rows of half double crochet to go. Hey Nico, the houses were my favorite part of the blanket too. I loved the barn. I know every month that came along, I was kind of giddy. I really enjoyed every single piece of that blanket, but I absolutely loved the barn and the houses. And I think making the houses was my favorite because I got to make a bunch of them and they all got to be different. So I would get halfway through one and I'd already be picturing how the next one would look. And I love, I love projects that make me do that. Kind of like this one. Cheryl says she's making Christmas ornaments to add to her Christmas cards that she sends out. I love that. In that case, you want to make them nice and like the nice small flat ones are really good. Like that little snowflake applique we did. I made a whole bunch of those using crochet thread one year, and they fit nicely into a card. Anything made out of crochet thread will fit typically into a card. So if you've got crochet thread and small hooks and patience, then give that a try. Making sure I don't miss that little stitch on the end because the last half double crochet always curls down the edge a little bit. Pamela, thank you so much for picking up some patterns at the shop. You know also that you've got the right stitch count because if you look at your piece of fabric, it should be nice and even on both sides. There shouldn't be any of this happening. Now, if you do count your stitches and you do have the right stitch count and you have a little bit of this or this happening, that's just tension, and that's something that can be fixed with a little bit of blocking. So stitch count's important. Half double crochet in each stitch all the way across. And then instead of changing colors for the roof, I'm just going to continue with this gingerbread color because I think I'm going to decorate it with white yarn like frosting just to make it look a little bit like a gingerbread house. And then we'll see how that looks. So this is the, if you've got the pattern or you've got the sort of the video playing in the background, we had different names for the different styles of these houses. This is the one-story house with the front-facing roof. So you're looking at the roof, it's a different color. But and it's basically the same stitch counts as the one-story house with the side roof detail. I'm basically making the one-story house with the side roof detail. So the stitch counts will be the same, but I'm not changing color for the roof. I'm going to continue on with the same gingerbread color. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to add this little roof detail afterwards. And I'm going to add that in white. So it looks like there's snow sitting on my roof. Mr. InStitches, I think we need a poll.
Hello. Poll, eh?
Yes.
I guess.
So, let's see here. Chat, any suggestions for a poll on a Monday morning? I'm going to count my rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 rows. That means I get to pause and take a sip of my coffee.
Waiting for some poll ideas. Calling all lurkers. We have lots of lurkers today.
Oh, good. We love our lurkers. Did it snow at your house over the weekend? Great poll suggestion.
Oh.
Crochet Crazy.
Okay.
So, did it snow at your house over the weekend? Yes or no? I'm curious to know. That is a good question.
Here it comes.
It's that time of the year, plus it also kind of gives you an idea of where everybody's watching in from. We definitely start seeing snow at this time of year. But we're in Canada, so I know some people think we have snow all year round, and technically in some places we do, but not where we live. It's a big country. Okay, I finished with the main part of the house. So now I'm going to continue with the roof part. So I want to start bringing in the sides to create a bit of a roof shape. So at the end of row 8, which I still have 18 stitches all the way across, I'm going to chain 1 and turn, which I've already done. And I'm going to start and finish the row with a half double crochet 2 stitches together. So I'm going to half double crochet the first 2 stitches of the row together. Then I'm going to half double crochet into each of these stitches all the way across until I get to the last 2 stitches, and then I'm going to half double crochet the last 2 stitches together. And then that's going to just start shaping my house into a roof pitch. Wow, some of you got a lot of snow and rain. Half double crochet the last 2 stitches of the row together. So now I'm down from 18 to 16 stitches, and that's just going to start to gently close in the shape of the roof. So now I'm going to repeat this row, which is half double crochet the first 2 stitches together, half double crochet in each of the middle stitches, and half double crochet the last 2 stitches together. I'm going to keep repeating that until I get to row 15. So every row begins and ends with a half double crochet 2 stitches together. All the other stitches in the middle are just regular half double crochet, and each row stitch count decreases by 2 stitches each row. So it's a half double crochet in each stitch across. When I get to the last 2, I make sure I half double crochet them together. And now I'm down to 14 stitches. I like to lay it down and just sort of, see that narrowing effect happening. Half double crochet the first 2 stitches together. Half double crochet across.
I don't know what it is about the pole, but whenever we set one up in the last couple of weeks, it just messes everything up.
What's happened now?
The computer slows down, the image changes, the people are mentioning in the chat that they don't see the question. So, but also a lot of people do see it, and it is working. So I don't know, just some minor glitching, I guess. We've got 125 votes.
Okay. Well, then that means that many of you can see it. I mean, I can't, but like I said,
you might have to tap or click on it to see the whole thing.
Michelle.
The question was, did it snow at your house over the weekend? Yes or no?
Yes, and if you can't vote in the poll, then just go ahead and add a little note in the chat. Michelle,
hey, we got a milestone, I think.
Yeah, member for 45 months. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle says, good morning, everyone. I am just listening today, sending love to all. Great vibe. Thank you, Michelle. And you can see that I'm really getting that little closed-in roof effect as I go. My little half double crochet the first 2 and the last 2 stitches together at the beginning and end of each row, and then just half double crochet in the middle. And I'm working towards row 15. This might be row 15. I'm going to have to pause and count. I believe I have 4 stitches left, so that tells me it's probably row 15. At the end of row 15, you will have 4 stitches left, so let's just quickly count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 15. Angelia, thank you so much for picking up a pattern at our shop. All right, that's the end of row 15. I have 4 stitches left. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. I've got one more little row to do, and that's half double crochet 2 together twice. So the first 2 stitches and the last 2 stitches, and that gives me just a little bit of a point to my roof. I'm going to fasten off, weave in my ends. This is already really cute. It already looks like a little roof and a little house. Okay, so I'm going to, it's not something I normally do, but I'm going to weave in my tails as I go, just so I can keep them out of my way. And I don't think it really matters what side, so I'll just weave these 2. Unless I like that side better. Yeah, I like that side. Okay, so I'm going to weave them in on this side. Jojo! Hi, Jojo! Jojo's been a member for 7 months. Thank you, Jojo. And Jojo says, I love the little house. Thank you. I love it too. There's just something so cozy and cute about little crocheted houses. And I'm just carefully weaving in my tails here. There we go. That's one. That one didn't quite pull all the way, so let me do that again. I'm being picky because I want to hang this on the tree and I want it to look nice. There we go. And that left a little bit of tail out. So I'll trim that. Okay, so that's the bottom one woven in, and let's weave in the top now. So I think you can probably finish the pole, Mr. InStitches. Did it snow at your house over the weekend? No, 76%. Yes, 23%. Wow. That's still a lot more snow than I anticipated. I think we got a dusting. We got just a smidget, a dusting of snow. It wasn't really anything to get excited about. Okay, so I've woven in both of my little tails, and I'm going to just kind of keep weaving in tails or working over top of them as I go, because in a project like this where you're adding little bits and pieces, the tails can really gang up on you. And Summer and I were just discussing this over the weekend. She didn't bother weaving in any tails on a big project she was working on, and then she finally found out that she had like an army of tails that needed weaving in. So sometimes it's a good idea to weave them in as you go, just so you're not ambushed by them at the end of the project. I'm going to switch to white. So I had some little smidgens of white here, but I need probably a few yards to do the roof line. So I'm just going to grab, I've got some nice plain size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn. I'm going to do my little roof edge in the white. So now I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to start with a slip knot. I want to join my yarn with a slip stitch in the end of row 7. So if I count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this is the end of row 7. So I'm going to slip my hook in right here. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch, chain 1, and half double crochet in the same place. I want to put that there. Do I want to start in row 7 or row 8? How low hanging do I want my roof? Looks cute down there. You know what? I think I'm going to move it up to the end of row 8. So I did row 8 on this house, and I think I'm going to stick to it on this house too. So, all right. So count up to row 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to join in the edge of row 8 instead. Row 7's fine, but I think I like that roof line to be kind of the same as the other house. So join with a slip stitch, chain 1, half double crochet in the same place. And now I'm going to work a half double crochet up the edge. So in the edge of each row, all the way up the edge, I'm going to work a half double crochet. Now if I feel like for some reason I need a few more or a few less, I can always add a few more or a few less. I just want an even, kind of look up the edge. So if I feel like I've got too many, I'll take it out. If I feel like I have too few, I'll add a few more in. What I want is like a nice even line, and then I'm going to try and mimic the same thing going down the other side. So I'm not terribly worried about stitch count here. Going more for aesthetic. And I'm just plunking my hook in anywhere that it feels good. I'm trying not to split my yarn. Come on, there we go. All right, now that puts me right up at the top, more or less. And I'm going to work 3 half double crochet in each of those 2 top stitches because I want to really curve around the top nicely. So I'm going to identify them. That's 1 and that's number 2. I got that right? Yeah, so am I looking at it? Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to do 3, basically 6 across the top. So 3 in the first stitch, 3 in the second stitch, and then, so I'm going to lay it down here so we can take a look at it. I'm going to mimic what I did going down the other side. So I want this to look like sort of frosting, I guess in this case snow. So I'm following the same part of the pattern that I would for the side of like the little roof detail that you can see here on this guy. It sort of sticks out a little bit, but I'm doing it in white just so it looks like frosting. And I'm just gonna work a little tiny knot out of my yarn.
Big thank you to Nico for another gifted membership.
Nico, thank you so much. Jackie has won it. Congratulations, Jackie. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much, Nico. All right, getting rid of this little knot in my yarn. It's not really a knot, it's just like the yarn kind of bends around itself when it's unraveling. Don't know if you guys find that. It can sometimes be annoying. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to continue the half double crochets down this edge, and I'm going to try and mirror pretty much what I did on the other side. Again, I'm not really worried too much about stitch count because this isn't an applique, this isn't getting attached to anything, it doesn't have to match up with anything else. Oh, see, I don't like that one. I want to back up and put an extra one in.
I just want to quickly remind everyone that today is our shop is, the sale is still on today. So it's 25% off all patterns and digital items. So if you've got anything in your cart, this is the last day. It's the best deal you're going to get all year. And thanks to everyone who participated. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much to everybody. You've all been really, really sweet and wonderful, and we're very, very grateful. It helps a lot. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is where I'm aiming to finish my stitchery. Right there. So I'm just going to mark it with my yarn needle. Don't always need to grab the stitch marker, just grab the needle sometimes. Just careful not to poke yourself. I'm already pretty happy with the way this is looking. So I'm going to put 1 in the edge of row 8. There we go. Okay. Now, I might put 2 in the end. I always like to just sort of, because I joined with a chain or joined with a slip stitch and chained 1, it creates just a little bit more bulk on that side. So I'm going to just put a second one in the same place. Doreen, thank you so much for picking up a pattern. And I think that looks pretty even, eh guys? That's a pretty even looking little frosting on it. Oh my gosh, this is cute. What is it about gingerbread? It's so darn sweet. Okay, so that's the roof. I'm going to snip my yarn, fasten off. I'm going to weave in that tail, and then it's basically on to decoration, making a little door, maybe doing a little bit of embroidery or some chain work. I think you guys are going to help me decorate this. So while I'm working on the little front door, I would love to see some suggestions in the chat. Mr. InStitches will kind of call some of them out as to what you think I should do decor wise for this.
I'd like to try and avoid, I know the polls are fun, but I'd like to try and avoid them until they get it fixed.
We'll skip the poll. I'm just going to let people give sort of decorating ideas. Just type them in the chat and Mr. InStitches can kind of like sing out the ones he sees. And while I'm making the door, we'll think about what kind of decorations we're going to put on our little house.
So what
here.
are the options?
Anything.
Oh, anything for decor?
Yeah.
Besides window and door.
I'm going to make a little door, so I want to hear what people think I should do.
I love the little flowers at the bottom of the window. A little mini wreath.
Oh, a wreath. That's a good idea.
Let's see. I'm seeing here a round window, like a hobbit house. That's cute.
Okay.
Peppermint mints.
Peppermints, yep. That's a good idea.
I will not be singing, Nico. There will be no singing. Peppermints, a little mouse in the window. That's cute.
Aww.
How about a little cat in the window?
Oh, well, that's a cute
Candy
idea.
canes, of course. Gumdrops, mistletoe above the door.
Yeah, there could be
snowflakes, a round door.
I'm going to make the door.
Lights over the top. Lights would be cute.
Little lights.
Let's see what we did with the folk art calendar blanket.
Little lights strung along the roof line would look so cute. Oh, wow. Yes. Gee, and they could be little beads. I might actually
I like the idea of the lights.
Yeah.
You could use beads. That would work really well.
I'm gonna make my front door.
Candles in the window. That's a good one. How about making it look like the lights are on inside the house?
I can do that.
Because you know how you have a blue window?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the yellow window? So
I do have a light
warm
yellow.
And cozy inside.
Chimney with snow. Oh, I like that. Lynette, thank you so much for the super chat. Lynette with a very nice $5 super chat. Thank you so much. And it says, let's celebrate Lynette's first super on a live stream. Thank you so much, Lynette. We really appreciate it. Little lights. Yeah, I'm thinking as well. This would be so cute. All right. Well, while you guys think about it, I'm going to make the little front door because I think I have to have a front door. And I'm going to make it the same as this guy. So nice and plain.
Couple little bushes across the front with some lights in them. That
little
would look cute
trees.
too.
Yeah, Donna, thank you so much. Donna picked up a pattern. Thank you. Okay, so for the front door, I've started with a slip knot. I'm going to go with white so that the whole thing looks like frosting. I'm going to chain 5 to begin. I'm going to half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. So I'm skipping that first chain. I'm going to half double crochet in each of those remaining chains. That gives me a stitch count of 4. Then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And I'm just going to half double crochet in each of those stitches all the way across for 5 rows total. So I've got 4 more rows to go. Half double crochet in each stitch.
I like Cherry Berry's idea. Tiny little gingerbread man coming out of the door. And then we can embellish him. He could be wearing like a Santa hat and maybe like, using a candy cane as a cane.
That's cute.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting into some very
now we're getting into some real details.
Crazy details.
Someone mentioned a chimney with some snow on it.
Yes, I like that.
That's classic. What else we got, everybody? Calling all lurkers. We need ideas. Star on the roof. Uh-huh.
Yes, yeah. Well, once we get the house front door on, it will certainly help. Allie, thank you so much for picking up a couple of patterns. The front door will help sort of give us an idea of what we should do around it. I really like the idea of the Christmas lights around the roof line. I think that's cute. And I think I might
We'll start with that.
go for
and maybe
beads.
across the window. Are you going to be putting windows?
I don't know. I'm going to put my little front... I think I'm going to put the little front door in the middle because...
Yeah.
It
And
looks...
maybe, I don't know. A round window
Nico!
above the door?
Thank you, Nico.
Oh, thank you so much.
Nico's picked up a couple patterns. So what I'm doing here, because this is an applique, I'm leaving a long tail so I can stitch it down. I'm going to weave in this shorter tail across the back. And I'm going to put a little doorknob, but you know what? I think I got to get the beads out. This is turning into a bead project. So didn't think it was going to happen that way, but that's okay. That's what
Someone mentioned earlier, actually a few people mentioned putting like actual miniature lights that you can turn on.
a dorb.
That would be super cute.
I have...
As long as it's safe.
Yeah.
You have to do it safely. You don't want it catching fire.
I have little t-shirt lights, but I think they might be a bit too big.
Yeah, I think so. I know the ones.
I'm going to put a little...
I think big juicy colored beads would look good.
Yeah, so you know what? I think I'm going to make some room here. I'm going to pull out the beads. So excuse me for a moment, guys. You're going to hear a bunch of thumping and banging, and that's okay. That's me getting into the big craft stash. So first of all, let's see. We have this little drawer. I have tiny little itsy bitsy drawers. So that's some beads. That's some more beads. That's another bunch of beads. And I've got some little black beads. I may or may not need those.
Just throw it all on the table.
So
Just
that's
pile it on
that.
there.
Yeah, what else have I got? Those are buttons. Okay, so on the other big
Little
set,
fairy lights with a battery pack. I think that would look great.
that would look really cute. I like that idea.
I think they're making them smaller and smaller every year now, so you could definitely find those. You might even be able to find little like mini LED ones at the dollar store these days.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you come here.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Thanks for popping in and out.
Okay.
Oh boy, Jayda's getting serious.
I'm getting serious.
Whoa, the Rubbermaid is coming out.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
My goodness.
All right. Oh, this is heavy. Okay. I've got... Well, this just goes on forever here, guys. I've got beads and containers of beads and more beads and still more beads and more beads. So, oh. What have I got in this cute little tin? Let's see here. Oh, this is a tight tin. This is an old tin. Is there a date on this? This is from Halifax, England. So this printed in England. This is very old. This is from my grandparents' collection. Come on. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. I've got to brace it up against my... there. Whew. All right. Is there anything worthwhile? Oh, those are pretty. I forget what's in half of these things. These are plastic. I've got some kind of lighter colored beads, some whiter ones, some blue ones. They're not really Christmassy, so let's try another tin. Oh my gosh, this is an old tin. There we go. What's in here? That's that. What have we got in here? Okay. Snap, snap, and ooh, okay. I've got some really pretty Murano glass beads. I've got some, I've got some big fish. This isn't very Christmassy, but I love looking at these things. Okay, I've got some, these are some extra dividers. I've got some very pretty little glass beads over here. So these kind of have two colors to them. Like one side is like a pink and the other side is a white, or a blue and green and yellow and green. There's a bunch in there, purple and pink. Those are nice and bright red. These are glass, so I have some glass beads. So that's one. And let's see what's in here. Got a whole ton. Oh yeah, okay, so now we're talking. So this might be better. This is super plastic, but kind of shiny. I've got all different colors in here. You know, like I've got those sort of faceted ones. Those kind of reflect the light better, so that might be a good option. I've got a whole bunch of those. I've got lots of those little three-sided ones. They look like, oh, that's a dead elastic. So these ones that have like the three, they kind of stack. You can do different like little craft projects with them, but they're like three-ended stacking beads. I don't know what they're called. They have a special name. Let me see what it says on this package here. How old is this package? We are really getting into my old stash. Lewis Craft. Anybody remember Lewis Craft? Boy, I love that store. Propeller beads. They're called propeller beads. Yeah. So that's a bunch of green propeller beads. So maybe the green ones. I've got blue ones. I've got gold ones. I've got some purple ones. Oh, I've got these are, all right. More, these are glass. So they're a little heavy, but they're really pretty. I like the red ones. I've got red and yellow, but they're kind of heavy because they're glass. Actually, these ones are stone. These are stone beads. Wow, they look like marbles. They're so pretty. So those ones, maybe not because they're kind of heavy. I think I might stick with the plastic. Plastic's probably the right way to go here. Let's see, what else have I got? I haven't even gotten into these yet. So that's some, oh, those are glass too. Yeah, a little bit heavy. Oh, look at this. I got a package of little miniature clothespins. Some of those would look cute, like a little oh, I might even put those on here. If I make a regular house looking one, a little clothesline with little miniature clothespins hanging on it would look really cute. I might keep those out. I've got a bunch of wooden beads. So these are all wooden. I've got every kind of color going for the wooden ones. Wooden ones tend to be kind of light, so they might be okay, but they're not pretty and shiny. I've got some smaller plastic ones. Oh, I've got metallic colored ones. I've got gold, bronze, and silver, but they're plastic, so they're not shiny. And these are small. I might keep those out. Oh, what else have I got? What else have I got? Oh, I've got red propeller beads. I don't really know what to do with propeller beads. What's in here? Those are... I've got more plastic beads that are mostly heart-shaped. And I've got a bunch of little tiny beads in here. Those are plasticky. More propeller beads. Those pretty blue ones are nice. So I've got some like glass bugle beads. Those are okay. And oh, and then I've got, let's see here. Glass, glass, stone, 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 glass, glass, stone, stone. So I might skip the, no, those ones are kind of pretty, but they're really small. I think I'm going to skip the glass and the stone. So, that's huge. Leave that. Okay. here. What's this? Nope, I don't need that. Alright, so I think no to this, no to these. These are glass. I'll skip those. I don't really know what to do with the propeller beads, so I'll skip those. These maybe might be, well, there's some hearts. The hearts aren't bad. Okay, so I will keep the plastic ones out. And let's put this over here. Okay. So that was an interesting interlude. Okay, so plastic beads, check. Oh, and I need thread. I need sewing thread. If you were you could always glue gun things if you wanted to. You don't have to sew everything down. I like to sew things down just because I guess I'm a bit of a traditionalist in that way. But you can also use glue gun or fabric glue, or if you're really careful, like Gorilla Glue or something, to kind of glue stuff onto your little decorations. Because after all, this is going on the tree. This isn't a toy, so you don't have to sew stuff down. But I'm going to. So I've got lots of beads. Let's focus on making... I need a little front door knob. Thank you, Tina! I'm going to put this over here. So lots of beads, beads galore. I'm going to put a little doorknob on my front door, and since I've got all these beads, I may as well make use of them. So let's go. Oh, I've got little itty bitty hearts in here. Would one of these make a cute, okay, I've got a little itty bitty heart. What do you guys think of a little heart for a doorknob? I hope you can see that. I've got pink, I've got green. Yes, you can absolutely do French knots for your embroidery. That's what I did on this one. So the French, this is all French knot work. This is the little flower box at the bottom of the window. And I could totally do French knots, but I thought since this is going to be a kind of a one-sided piece, it's a Christmas ornament. I'm going to bust out the bead. So I've got a little green heart. Oh, I have a red heart. I think that's it. I'm going to use the red heart for the front door. So I've got a little red heart. I'm going to use that as the front door knob for my little house front door. Oh my gosh. So the red one, I'm going to sew that on. So I'm just going to quickly sew that on. I'll just use one strand of thread. So I'm going to sew the little bead onto my front door before I sew the front door down. So let's just get it established on the back here. There we go. And I will sew that down. Jane, thank you so much. And
I also want to let everyone know that we do have this pattern that Jayda's working on in written form in our Etsy shop, and I think you put it on the featured. It should be right up top,
yep, it
right?
should be right up top.
If anyone wants the written version. We also have the video tutorial on YouTube.
Yes.
If anyone prefers that
yep.
style.
If you're more visual, we've got the tutorial, and it's quite an in-depth one because we show how to make the 4 different versions.
Townhouses, crochet,
folk art townhouse.
Crochet townhouse for the calendar blankets, folk art calendar blanket.
Yeah, that was such a fun blanket. All right, so I'm just knotting my thread on the back here of my door.
Amanda says, stop, it's too cute. Yeah, Jayda overdoes it with the cuteness, that's for sure. She goes overboard.
I love the whimsy that Christmas ornaments like offer. You know, you can just, you really can't go too crazy. So pin back in sewing kit so I don't lose it. I'm just going to trim that little thread. And now that's my simple little front door with a little heart button front door knob. It sort of like says welcome. Connie, thank you for gifting a membership, Connie. And Holly has won it. Welcome to the family, Holly. I'm going to just sew down my little front door now. And since it's an applique, and I don't want it to show through to the back. I'm going to hold it in place, and I'm just going to use the top facing loops of the stitches on my front, like the front of my house. So that's a good one right there. And the edge of the applique. So get my needle in there. And if you use the front facing loops of your main piece as you sew down your applique, you won't have any stitches showing through to the back, which is key because this is going to be hanging on the tree, so both sides will be visible. Could even make this, these could afford to be even smaller, so I might even try like a thread version of this. If Linda's watching, Linda has been working on a thread version of the folk art, or I should say the Fair Isle style blanket. She's been making a thread sampler. The whole thing's in crochet thread. It looks absolutely phenomenal. And I'm just thinking that this would be something she'd probably do in thread. All right, so that's one side sewn down, not showing through to the back because we're using the top facing loop, so that's nice and neat and tidy. I'm going to sew it down across the front or the bottom here. So I'm just grabbing loops. And if you are starting into one, I recommend using a really small hook, not really small, but the original pattern, so if I can just sort of show you again, this is the exact same pattern, same stitch count. This one used a 5.5 millimeter hook. This one used a 4 millimeter hook. So I9, G6, big size difference. And I think the smaller tree, it's a little bit tighter. By the time I have more stuff sort of sewn to it, it will also give it a little extra strength. Nico, thank you, Nico. Nico has gifted another membership, and
Nico the gifting ninja.
Jay has won it. Congratulations, Jay. Welcome to the family.
Nico swoops in like a ninja and goes, "Gift for you!" Wow. Karate chops a gift right on the table.
Right on the table.
Who won?
Jay
Mallory. Welcome.
Okay, I got a couple more stitches and then my little door will be all stitched up here. There we go. So I'm just going to pull the corners down of my little front door to make sure it's nice and squared up. There we go. Then I will make a little knot. I'm going to bring it out the front. I'm going to make an itty bitty little knot here around this other stitch. Then I'm going to weave in my tail. I had way more sewing tail than I needed, but it's better to have too much than not enough. I might need that for a little scrap later on. And I'll just pull the tail through here so that it disappears. There. And snip. So I'll just put that to the side. Okay, so front door. Front door is done and stitched on. I've got my little tiny doorknob, which is a little itty bitty heart. Oh my gosh, this is cute. I think before I go any further, I'm going to put the hanger on just so I can start to really get that feeling, because I have this red. Now if I split this in half, is that enough for another hanger? Yes, it is. Okay. So I've got just a little bit of this red ribbon left, so I'm going to put its little hanger on now so I can start to really see the finished project. I'm not going to have anything kind of interfering at the top peak of the house, so I can feel comfortable putting the little hanger on. So I'm just going to tighten this nice and tight. And this will be big enough to hang on a tree limb or a finger. Going to slip it right through the top of one of these stitches at the top of the roof. So fold ribbon, place it through my yarn needle, pull that carefully through that stitch, and then take that knotted end and pull it back through the loop. There we go, nice and neat. So there's the hanger on. So I've got my little ribbon on. So now it's starting to, this little, this little Christmas ornament is starting to take shape. Okay, we've got a front door. We've got a ribbon hanging on it. Now let's look at Christmas lights. I think let's do that, eh? What have I got by way of, I like these. These are those multi-faceted beads. It looks like I just happen to have green and red because of course we do. Ooh, there's a nice bright green one. Let's get this over here. I have some white ones. I'll just pull out a bunch and we'll see what we've got. Oh, there's a blue one. Should I go as many colors as possible or stick to a plain color grouping? What do you guys think? I've got kind of a yellowy colored one. There's a white one. Looks like I've got them in every color here. All right, I've got more than enough. There's more green. There's more white. Where are all the red ones? There's a red one. And there's a red one. Okay, maybe another white. Yeah. So what are we looking at? Multicolored, as many as you can fit on. Multicolored, red, green, and white. Green, red, and yellow, or white if you do not have yellow. I like the different colors. Multicolor, red and green. As many as possible. So we're looking like as many different colors as possible. So I have orange, but I don't think I like the orange against that. I don't think this looks right. But I do like, let's take a look at what we've got here. So this is what these colors look like on the house. So there's whites, the reds, and the green. I'm going to split them a little bit so you can sort of see them. The reds don't show up as well, but they might if they're kind of right up at the edge where the white is. There's the greens. The white, the clear ones are going to sparkle. They're also faceted, so they're going to grab the color. I like these kind of slightly lighter green ones. They're kind of cheerful. And then of course I've got this pretty blue. The blue, I think I have to include the blue. The blue looks really good. Let's see if I can find some more blue. There's a blue. We
have a membership renewal from Christina. Big thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Welcome, welcome. Re-welcome. I like the re-welcome. Why is it so satisfying to run your finger through some plastic beads? What is that? Is that like sand? It also sounds really nice. Okay. I got, oh, there's a yellow one. I just don't think it's, nah, it ends up looking kind of pink. I don't really like the pinky color. So I'm going to stick with the clear white. There's another red. And some blue and a couple of whites. Okay, so I might cram all of them in here. We'll see what we can do. So there we go. Opinions. Do the red buttons, like, does everything kind of stand out? I think it looks okay. I think at the edge we'll be able to sort of see them. I think there'll be enough white just behind sort of the edge of it, because I want them to kind of sit just at the kind of the threshold where the white and the gingerbread color meets, so it looks like there's snow on the roof, but the little lights are kind of poking out underneath it. Mr. InStitches, do we have extra coffee? Can I get more?
I think we have a little bit left. Yes.
All right, I'll be right back, everybody. I'm just going to fill up my coffee again. All right. Lovely. Welcome, everybody. If you're just joining us, I am making a gingerbread version of our folk art style applique townhouse. So same pattern, same stitch count, but a much smaller hook. I used a G6 for this. This was an I or a 9 hook. And I've just started decorating it. I've already got my little Christmas hanger on it. This is designed to hang on the tree. I wanted to use a smaller hook because I wanted a smaller decoration, and I wanted it to be kind of tighter so that when it sits up or when it's hanging, it doesn't want to like fold in on itself. And I'm going to stagger. I'm going to try and make like a little pattern. So I'm going to go red, green, white, blue. Red, green, white, dark blue. Oh, maybe I'll switch those out. So these will just roll around until they're stitched into place. I think I'll switch you out with you. All right, and then red, give me your blue, green, red, green, stay put, white, blue, red, light green, white. Can I do a full repeat? Yeah, I can squeeze them in. Blue. So I'll just make sure. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, this is going to be like those classic Christmas colors. All right, just spacing them out. It's all right. I'm going to leave them in order on the desk so that I can sort of stitch them as I go. Yeah, so this is what we're looking at. I think that's a big yes. I'll just put these guys to the side. I don't have any purple, Kim. I've got blue, got sort of the classic colors here, but no purple. So I think we're going to stick with what we've got. I'm going to thread up a long thread. I'm going to sew these guys down. So long thread, I'm going to double thread it so that it's strong. All right. Can I thread a needle today? Oh, I did it. Woohoo. Absolutely, Debbie. We can add little drips of snow down for a future one. So instead of having Christmas lights, maybe just have like little icicles or little frosting drips. Absolutely. You can do that with some surface chaining or a little bit of embroidery or spike stitches. When you go in and you add the edging, the frosted edging, instead of keeping all of your half double crochets in an alignment along the edge, do the odd one where you kind of stretch down with your hook and spike stitch the odd little half double crochet. Make it longer than the other ones, and that'll kind of look like it's sort of dripping down. I think that would work. All right, I'm going to leave these in the order that I intend to stitch them. So red, green, white, blue, red, green, white, blue, red, green, white, blue. Okay, so that's the order they're going in. That is 8 per side, right? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 4 is 16, 8 per side. So I'm going to stretch 8 up here and 8 down there. I'm going to anchor my thread. I'm using white thread because I'm going to be sewing between the white and the gingerbread colored yarn. So I'm anchoring my thread on the back. I'm going to bring it out to the front and I'm going to stitch my little beads. Nothing fancy, so I'm not going to be sort of going through them multiple times. I'm just going to stitch them into place and then come back out. Now let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I want to put the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to put 8 up here. So let's stretch this one out a little bit. Here comes the green one. This is already looking pretty merry. So I'm keeping some tension on my needle and thread so that my beads lay snug in their new home there. And I'm going right through the white yarn and then coming back. So I'm going through to the edge, but you're not going to see it because I'm using white on white. Let's make sure I don't accidentally stitch that in. And time for a blue. And now for a red. Now people often ask where I get my beads, and to be fair, I've been collecting for eons, so I don't know where they've all come from, but they have come from mostly craft stores over the years. But Walmart has, if you like, most of us have access to like a department store like a Walmart, and most of those department stores have some kind of craft area. Certainly a crafty spot where they sell like craft kits for kids. So if you can't find the kind of, like if you don't have like a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby or some kind of great craft store that has a specific bead section, then places like Walmart have like a kids craft section, like where they sell craft kits. And they often have little baggies of just plain plastic beads in multiple colors hanging on the wall. And just look closely at them. This is kind of the bead that you want, just something simple and plastic and kid friendly. They have if they're multifaceted, and by multifaceted that means that it's made to have multiple sides, like a multi-sided die that refract or catch the light and reflect the light, not refract it, sorry. And that's what you're looking for. They don't have to be special or large, but this is exactly what I'm using. These are probably from an old craft kit, if I know me. Kind of falling in love with this little, oh my gosh, like, ah, isn't crafting fun? So why have I got, oh, that's why. So last 8. So I've got one side done. Gotta find the, and I'm going in the order that I laid them down. Pausing every so often to make sure that none of them are feeling loose.
Looking good.
Almost done.
I like it.
Last bead going on. So the Christmas lights was a great idea, everybody. Okay, so here we go. We've got our little Christmas lights, which are these pretty little plastic beads, nothing fancy. Darn, that's cute. I'm gonna make sure I knot everything really well back here on the other side. And I'm gonna knot this maybe 3 times just to make sure it doesn't want to come undone. And then I'm going to take my sewing thread and I'm going to weave it through some of the actual yarn stitches, just so back and forth a couple times, just so it's extra secure. There we go. And trim. Needle back in needle case. There we go. So, Christmas lights on. What's next, everybody?
Avi Dragon is wants to contact us via the Etsy shop. Can you just reiterate how to do that? There's a little button somewhere.
Yeah,
looks
so
like an envelope. I can't remember.
If you pop into the Etsy shop, and somewhere, depending on the device you're looking at, you'll see contact owner or contact shop owner. If you click on that, it'll open up a message thread that is already addressed to us, but you have to be in our shop. So if you do that, and you click on, or if you have an existing message thread with us already, you just click on contact shop owner. It'll open up a little message box, and then you can write a little message to us. And if you're trying to send us a photograph too, there will be one of 2 things. On a computer, in that message box, you'll see a little tiny box that looks like a landscape painting. It looks like a little mountain with like a sun in the sky. If you tap on that or click on that, it'll let you attach a photo. If you're on a tablet or a phone, then chances are you'll see a little like camera icon in the bottom left or somewhere kind of in the typing box area. And if you tap on that, it'll let you attach a photo or take a photo. So those are your options, and that's how you can contact us and send us a little picture. So thanks for asking, because I know we do get that question a lot.
The first point of contact, is it underneath the shop name?
I'm not sure. It depends on the software you're using. And it also depends on what page you're on. Like there's.
You have to be signed in?
Yeah. No, you don't have to be signed in.
You just have to be signed in. So you don't need an account.
No, you just have to visit our shop, which is Jayda InStitches.
All right. I'll link the shop page and then look for the contact owner button.
There is no direct contact owner button link. Yeah. So you just have to come to the shop, and because whatever page you're on, like usually on individual listings, there'll be a contact shop owner. On the page, on the main landing page of the shop, there'll be a contact shop owner. So yeah, that's all you have to do is look for that. All right, where are we at? We are also, so round window says Hell Kitty.
We've got I like Wreath, the idea of a round window. Maybe either 2 small ones on each side or a bigger one in the middle.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much, Sharon. So it's little like a little window. A wreath. Circle windows, a main window up here. I like the idea of the wreath, Nico. I think it needs a wreath. I don't know whether I'd put it on the door or if I'd put it up top. Oh, that might be a good use of my those propeller beads, because I never know what to do with those things. That might actually make a cute little wreath, but it might look better on a window. Okay, guys, if we're adding a window, what do we think? Like on either side of the door or up top? And are we going round? I see a lot of people saying round. Window at the top. Above the door for a wreath with circle window and wreath on the door, on top of the door, up top, round. Above the door, either side of the door, round, up top. Nico says somebody did say use the propeller beads to make a wreath. Okay, so look, great minds think alike. Round window, bugle beads for a candle in the window. Oh, I like that idea, Krista. Wreath on the door. Top of the door. Okay, so we're thinking, it looks like round window. We're all leaning into a round window. So let me at least crochet a round window quickly. So hook, back to the white. Back to the white yarn. There we go. Make sure I don't have any knots happening here. There we go. Okay, so little round window. I think might not be big enough space on either side for a round window. You know what? Let me just make a window and we'll see. So I'm going to start with a cinch circle, and I think I'll stick with the half double crochets. So let's start with 8 half double crochets. Let's see how big that is. Eight, maybe a little bit bigger. 9, 10. Okay, I'm gonna go with 10 half double crochets. Yeah, I think that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna join with a slip stitch. So there's my little window. Yeah, that's about the right size. Okay, so up top, I can put them on either side. They're not that big. Gee, isn't that fun? It really does change the look of things. So over here, maybe one on either side.
That is a tough choice.
One up here. Look how different it makes it look if you put it up top.
One on each side and one on top really changes it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's all adorable. I don't know. I'm kind of liking on each side, but
it's cute.
I like that too.
Maybe we'll go a little circle window on either side, and then like a nice big wreath up top.
Calling all lurkers. All lurkers.
All right. Well, let me leave a little tail for.
I wonder what the lurkers think.
And I'll just weave that little tail in across the back quickly. I'm not even going to weave the whole thing in. I'm just going to basically anchor it back there, because it's not going to show since I'm sewing it.
Let's see. The votes are starting to come in. Candy canes flanking the door. I like that idea.
I like that idea.
Big one. Big giant ones.
So.
2 windows. 2 windows, 1 wreath.
I think I like that idea. Little round windows on either side.
Let's see. Yellow window on top.
Oh, a yellow window up top.
Like the lights on.
I also really liked that little candle idea in the window. I wonder if I can...
Is that going to work with a round window?
I wonder if I can do that.
We just got a pattern sale, I think.
Thank you, Kim.
That was
Kim. Thank you very much. You know what? Let me see. Where are those little bugle beads? Do I have yellow bugle beads?
I think I'm seeing more of the 2 windows.
All right. Well, let me make up a second window, and I'll lay it down flat so you guys can get a look at it. I'm doing a basic cinch circle with 10...
Jayda's got beads coming out of wazoo.
I do.
On that table. There's just beads everywhere.
10 half double crochets in each of my cinch circles.
Caroline says you're going to have to do a second house. That's it. We're just going to have to live stream all day long.
It sounds like it. I think I have to. I have to make more of these. I mean, I feel like whenever you make something that you really like or you think is cute, that's it. You're stuck. You kind of have to keep making them. So there's a second window. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just weave that little tail in a little bit around the back. So nothing fancy here, just anchoring it. I'm not even worrying about weaving it in back and forth because I know it's not going to undo on me because it's an applique. So I'm just going to, so there we go. There's what, 2 little windows on either side of the, oh wow, that is so cute. Oh, good idea, guys. Okay, so 2 little windows on either side. I'm going to see if I can approximate the tiniest of little candles in the window. So I've got some itty bitty little beads here. Where did I put those yellow bugle beads? Hang on one second, gang. There's kit number 1. Kit number 2. Is that what the bugle beads are? No. What's in here? Crystal! Thank you, Crystal! Nope, those are not.
Claire wants to move into your little house.
Claire wants to. I want to move
Which
into my
one? The little
house.
cute yellow cottage or the gingerbread Christmas ornament? Which one would you move into? New pole.
New pool.
I like the little yellow cottage.
I like the little yellow cottage. I feel like there'd be plenty of room in there. Okay, I've got. I know
It has a working door, so I think I'd move in there first. The ornament is still under construction.
The ornament is still under construction.
So the door might not work yet. There's no running water.
All right. Yellow bugle beads. Yellow bugle beads. Why? I know we saw yellow bugle beads, did we not? I'm pretty sure I saw yellow bugle beads. All right, I'll make do. What have I got? So, I've got red and blue.
I think we just got a membership milestone. No, a gifted membership from Nico.
Nico! Thank you, Nico! Oh my gosh, Nico, again, the gifting ninja.
Slipped past me here.
Thank you, Nico. And Amanda has won it. Welcome to the family, Amanda. Congratulations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I thought I know some, did I not show you guys gold bugle beads at some point? Holly, thank you, Holly. I thought I did. I thought I had some gold. Well, maybe they're in here. They are not in here. All right, tell you what. I may not be able to get a gold candle, but I can make what looks like a little gold light at the top, which is the most important part. So I'm going to go with a little bugle bead. And I think I'm going to use, I have these really pretty blue ones in here. So bugle beads are these long glass skinny little beads. You can sort of see it rolling around in my hand. It's really, really tiny, but given the scale of this little ornament, I think this as a candle in my window will probably work okay, provided I can just get it to lie there for a minute. And maybe I'll do 2, 1 in each window. A candle in each window? I think a candle in each window would be good. All right, so 2 little tiny blue bugle beads. I'll close that back up so it doesn't undo on me. And then I think I've got lots of little gold beads that I can make it look like a little flame. So here we go. I'm going to thread up my needle. Actually, it's already threaded. That's enough yarn, or thread, I should say. Now let's make sure that my beads pass through my... Make sure your needle can pass through your bead before you get going. Otherwise, okay, that one works. And I'm pretty sure I've got, ooh, here we go. These little golden beads. So I've got gold beads. I think gold beads or yellow beads. Those might be too big. Yeah, and they're not rich enough. So 2 gold beads. Those will be my little flames. Very, very small, but I think in context they'll work. And, oh, I might actually use that. sometimes a bead kit comes with like a little tiny sorting tray. You might not even be able to see this, but it's a little plastic sorting tray. Very useful if you're dealing with tiny wee little beads so they don't get lost on you and roll off the table. All right, so make sure this fits. I'm using a beading needle. Beading needles are nice and skinny. That works. Okay. I'm going to put a little tiny candle in each of these windows. So I'm going to just anchor my thread on the back of my window. So I'm doing all the embroidery and the beadwork and everything onto the appliques before I sew them down to the little house. That just makes it easier. And if your sewing is messy, it doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna sew my little bead down vertically so that it looks like a candle, and I might go through it twice just to make sure it stays where I want it. Okay, so little candle upright, and now let's put a little flame bead. There. I think that approximates a candle fairly well, given the small size. And then that'll sit in the window. Yes, I like it. Okay, so I'm just going to knot off this on the back. So there's one, and there's two. Okay, and I'm going to trim that, and that will be one little window made. Finicky, working small, but it's worth it. Just be patient. Yeah, there we go. So that little window is going to have a little itty bitty candle in the window. I like it. All right, get some more thread going here.
I like the little itty bitty candle.
I do too. It's so cute. It's a really nice
looks
addition.
Great.
It looks welcoming and cozy. Trying to thread
adorable. Jayda, you have to dial down the cuteness.
I refuse.
We're getting cuteness overload here.
I refuse.
Here in the chat.
This little corner of the universe is all about sweetness and light, gosh darn it.
That definitely looks like a little candle.
So, let's get candle number 2 into position. So, anchoring thread on back. And threading up bugle bead. And I'm going to do that one twice just because it's long and I want it to stay where I put it. Okay, and then we'll put in that little itty bitty flame. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm going to get you out of the way. I will knot off my thread on the back. There we go. Needle back in needlebook. Okay, so I've got 2 little windows, each with a little candle burning in them. Oh my gosh, that is so darn cute.
Everyone's asking if you'd be willing to rent them out as B&Bs.
Oh, the gingerbread B&B.
The gingerbread B&B and the little yellow cottage B&B.
We can all just move into these little houses.
I don't know if we would all fit in there though, because they're really small.
No, they might be bigger on the inside, like a TARDIS.
Okay, yep.
All right, I'm going to sew them on one at a time. So I'm just going to keep my thumb on it where I want it. And Making sure my candle is facing upright. And I'm going to do that same thing where I'm grabbing a stitch or a loop of a stitch on the house. And I'm sewing through the edge of the window, and this way nothing shows through to the back. Nice and neat and tidy. So when I'm hanging it on the tree, it doesn't matter if it sort of turns around. You can sort of still see the outline of the gingerbread, but you don't see any messy stitching.
What did you use to make the flame on the candle?
I use these itty bitty little, so I've got, this is a bead kit from the dollar store. Don't negate the dollar store, gang. Check out the craft section in your local dollar store. This is an excellent bead kit. These are some plastic and also glass beads, so that's nothing to sneeze at. For like $1 or $2, I think I paid for it. These bead kits are great. So these are just little itty bitty glass gold beads. These ones are actually glass. These guys are all plastic, but and these ones are glass too. So these 3 are plastic. These two are glass. This kit even came with some cute little like heart-shaped sequins. I love checking out the craft section at the dollar store. I'm often quite delighted by the stuff I find. So that was a kit from the dollar store. This was also a dollar store kit. This I think was actually $1. And these are glass, 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 glass. So these are all glass beads. Not bad. And I just used one little itty bitty glass bead as the top of to sort of simulate the little flame on the candle. Do all of your sewing onto your appliques before you put them onto your house. So if your sewing is a mess, it does not matter. All of the sewing thread will be at the back of the applique, which is then sewn onto the little house. So it will look neat and tidy.
You're getting everyone all jazzed up for playing with beads now.
Well, that's good. Thank you, Pat.
So pull out your beads this Christmas. Dig out all those beads, and if you don't have some, go to the dollar store and get a little pack.
Yeah, get a little pack. They're not very expensive, and it's awfully fun. Thank you very much, Pat, for picking up a pattern.
Do some beading these holidays. Why not?
Yeah, I love playing with any excuse to play with my craft supplies, honestly. All right, I'm going to just do one more stitch there. All right.
You can get beads anywhere.
Oh, heck yeah.
They're everywhere. I'm sure even like places like Walmart have a few boxes here and there.
Yep, yep.
Your local fabric store.
I said that earlier. Craft, anything.
Michael's for sure.
Any store that has, like any department store that has like a little kids crafting section in it. Obviously, real craft stores. There we go. Don't need that little... That's a little thing to the side. So there's one window sewn down. I'm going to get window number 2 sewn down here.
Krista says, I bead Canada. So online too, of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
And gosh, secondhand stores. Let me just take a moment to plug secondhand stores.
Secondhand stores, yes. You
for
will
craft
find them there.
supplies. So go to a secondhand store with a different mindset. Walk in the door thinking it's a great big craft store. Look for old costume jewelry. Those things taken apart can often give you pretty great beads, like real bonkers but fun beads for things. I've found so many cool beads on costume jewelry at the thrift store for like 50 cents. I mean, you can't go wrong. They sometimes have a craft section. I have found oodles of really great old knitting needles and crochet hooks and stuff, even packages of yarn, beads, collections of scrapbooking supplies. So don't discount the actual craft section. Look at the kids section, because sometimes toys can be taken apart for crafting supplies as well. And then, of course, clothes. So sometimes they have, like, even in a thrift store, they have like a little bargain section for shirts or blouses or stuff that they just want to get rid of.
Old wedding dresses.
Old wedding dresses. Mama InStitches buys old wedding dresses and takes them apart for all of the beading and applique.
Beautiful beads.
Yeah, she'll spend $50
pearls
on a wedding dress, but she'll take it apart and she'll end up with like $400 worth of the embroidered appliques, which are incredibly expensive. So yeah, you have to sort of go into a craft store or go into a secondhand store with a different thought in your head. It's amazing what's actually there. Oh, check out the blankets and the tablecloth section. If you love old crocheted tablecloths, so many people toss those out or send them to the secondhand store. Mama buys those. She buys doilies. Anything that was obviously hand crocheted, she'll buy it if it's in thread. And she'll take it home. She'll bleach it. And she ends up with these absolutely beautiful pieces. One of these days I'm going to have to get Mama on the show just to talk about all of the things that she finds at secondhand stores. That would be a show and tell.
Yeah, we'll do a Mama InStitches show and tell.
Got to convince her.
I'm sure everyone would really enjoy that, including Mama InStitches. We'll get her to pull out her stash.
Yes.
So it'll take like
a year.
A few months.
Yeah.
A few months just to get that part done. Mama InStitches also has a ton of beads.
Yes.
And really nice stuff too. Like you can get like the crystal ones, like the Swarovski stuff.
Swarovski. That's a fun one to pronounce.
Really pretty stuff out there.
Okay, so trim that. There we go. So we've got two little frosting windows. So keeping in mind this is technically a gingerbread house. We've got two little windows with little bead candles lit in the windows. Got my front door on. I got my Christmas lights. Now I think we said a wreath, right? We have to do a little wreath. Geez, she says, sipping on the coffee. I'm thinking green yarn. I can also decorate it. I can make the little base wreath and then decorate it with beads if necessary. So let me take a look at my green yarn. Nothing too dark. I want to keep it light. Like that's a nice green color. Oh, I've also got this. That's a decent green color. Let me just ball up a little bit so you can sort of see it on the... So that is a good green. This is a decent green. This is a little more like a evergreen-ish color. It's not super dark, but I don't want to go too dark. This is playful though. What do you guys think? Dark green or light green? Quickly in the chat there. Oh, Raven, that's a good idea. Turn a key ring into a little wreath. That's kind of neat. I don't think I have any key rings handy, but that is a really neat idea. Oh wait, I do have one.
Looks like the majority is overwhelming voting for the light green versus the dark green.
Light green, light green. All right, we're gonna go with the light green. I agree. It's kind of fun, and this is sort of a more fun little candy-ish looking thing. I like that idea, Raven, but I wonder if it would make the front kind of heavy. Well, I think I'm gonna bookmark that idea, Raven. I like that. But let's just quickly crochet a little tiny wreath. So I'll use a similar version of the wreath pattern that we have a free pattern for on our website. It's just a tiny little wreath. I'm gonna make it smaller though, so that it fits. So I'm going to start with a slip knot. I'm going to chain 9 and join with a slip stitch. Lori, hey Lori with a membership milestone. Lori's been a member for 40 months. Thank you, Lori. Lori says, make green swags for over the windows too. Oh, that's a cute idea. Yeah. Okay, I've chained 9. I've joined to make a ring. And I'm going to just go, so chain 1, single crochet in the same
I
chain.
I feel like the little windows need something like you did with the other window. Like a bit of a crisscross or something.
But these are little round windows.
Yeah.
I've got the candles in them. I can't really, I don't want to cover them.
There's not enough space.
Yeah, we're dealing on a pretty small scale here, but I mean, I can do that on a different one.
That's just a thought.
All right, so single crochet, chain 1 single crochet in the same stitch as joining. I'm going to double crochet into the next stitch, she said with a question mark in her voice, and then single crochet into the next stitch. Is this going to be too small? Yeah, that's not enough. Okay. Chain 1. I'm shrinking a pattern, guys, so I'm thinking as I go here. So single crochet, so chain 1 single crochet in the same stitch as joining. Fine. Let's double crochet twice into the next stitch. So let's do that. 2 double crochet into the next stitch. 2 double crochet into the next stitch. I'm taking care to work over top of my short tail just because it's easier. And then single crochet into the next stitch. So I'd end up with 3 of these. Is that going to be big enough? I'm trying to get like a little bit of a bubble shape going. So let's try this again. Single crochet into the next stitch, 2 double crochet into the next stitch. And if I don't like it, I'll take it out and try something else. I think this might end up being too triangular. Single crochet into the next stitch. Might not be too bad. Single crochet into the next stitch, 2 double crochet into the next stitch. These are all just chains I'm working into. And single crochet into the last stitch. So single crochet, 2 double crochet, single crochet is the little pattern I did. Yeah, it's roundish. I don't know. I don't think I like that. Let's just do it simpler. Slip knot. I'm going to stick with the chain 9. Join with a slip stitch. And instead of working into the chains, I'm going to work into the actual ring. I'm going to chain 3, and I'm just going to start double crocheting all the way around. Actually, I'm going to go chain 3, double crochet, single crochet. Chain 2, double crochet. I'm trying to vary the edging a little bit. I'm just trying to make it kind of, oh, maybe I should do, yeah, that's getting somewhere. Should I just use the falling leaves stitch around it? What's that look like? Chain 1 single crochet, 2 double crochet. Let's try that. Single crochet, 2 double crochet. Single crochet, 2 double crochet. And I'll just work right into the actual, like the ring instead of into chains. That way I can stick in as many as I want. Yes, here we go. So little falling leaf stitch all the way around. Single crochet, 2 double crochet, single crochet, 2 double crochet. But I'm working into the ring. I'm not bothering with the chains, and that will give me a little bit of texture and a thick looking little wreath. I'll just see how many of these I can fit into that ring before it gets too tight. Aha. Here we go, gang. That is looking like a wreath. Heck yeah. Single crochet, 2 double crochet. So I think I did this, what did I do that, about 6 times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 6 times. So single crochet, 2 double crochet. I repeated that 6 times into that little chain 9 ring. I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the top of that first single crochet and leave a tail. And that looks like a wreath. Heck yeah! Oh my gosh, I'm getting excited. Okay. So I'm going to leave a little bit of tail so I can sew it down, but let's decorate it first. Well, that looks like a wreath. So we need to decorate it. I'm thinking little tiny beads, little tiny glass beads, so that these plastic beads look like bigger lights, and the things that we have on the wreath are a bit smaller. But before I commit to that, let's see what this looks like with some of the big guys on it. Are these too big, do you think? Is that too much of the same bead? Let me just decorate it a little bit here. Is that like too much of the same bead? Welcome to Silk Cat Craft. Thank you and welcome back. I like this. I'm gonna grab some water, guys. I'll be right back. Your suggestions for beadwork or decoration on the wreath, please leave them in the chat. Mr. InStitches will keep an eye on it. Okay, so back with some water. All right, so we're going, let me see here. Smaller, 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 but not seed beads. They might get lost in the project. Agreed. Keep the big, add small ones. Oh, I like that. Maybe smaller, smaller, smaller. Okay, so we're thinking these are too big for the wreath. I tend to agree. So let's put these aside and we'll try smaller beads. So I've got plenty of those too. I could just go simple and just use these little tiny gold ones that I used. Do they even stand out enough?
We had a membership gifted from Nico.
Thank you, Nico.
The gifting ninja. And I think, did we get Cat Craft as a member renewal?
I did.
Okay, great.
Big thank you to Cat.
Thank you,
huge thank you to Nico. And let's see here. Jane won it. Congratulations, Jane. Welcome back. I've got some pretty nice small beads. These are not too small that they'd get lost, like Dawn says, which is a good observation. We don't want them to get lost in the stitch work. So I think that these might be the right size. I'm just thinking, I wonder if I should go different colors. The nice thing too about these beads is that they're not really see-through. So like if I put a blue bead down, it looks blue. If I put a pink bead down, it looks pink. I've got like lilac beads. Now the question is, do I have red and green ones? I think I want to stick to those ones. Aren't bad.
I kind of liked the oversized beads, to be honest.
I thought they were cute. Just for reference, that's the big oversized bead. And these are the smaller ones.
Too, but I'm just thinking, like, if you're going to use this as decor on your Christmas tree, like a tree ornament, then you'd want it to stand out, right?
Yes. So I've got some.
I don't know.
Big red. I've got those little red beads, but like I've got red beads that are the same size but smaller. I think I like that. I kind of like the scale of these being lights. Like I'm picturing them kind of big lights, and then maybe as insinuating that these are lights, we don't actually have a lit up wreath. We just have a decorated wreath. Like, I wonder if I've got, so I've got, these aren't bad. That's kind of nice. Like it's just sort of simple. There's not like a whole lot going on here. Let me reverse these. Oops.
You're making the lights will be the focal point.
Yeah, the lights,
bigger
like,
and they'll stand out more.
I don't want to, yeah, I really love how the lights turned out, so I don't want to take away from them too much.
Yeah.
So those are some smaller beads for the, I think that's pretty good. Let me see, I might have.
We have a membership milestone from Krista.
Hey, Krista! Krista's been a member for 7 months. Thank you, Krista. No lights, small red bow at bottom. No lights, small red bow at bottom, she suggests. Okay. So what have I got? I'm wondering, actually, I'm just digging through my beads again. I'm wondering if I don't actually have a bow bead. That's interesting. It's like a little barrel. Moving quick, moving quick. So maybe do I have a fun shaped bow? I have fish. That's funny. Got a little heart.
Skip the beads, just do the bow. What do you think of that?
Well, let me see. So that's what it would look like with beads. We've all seen that. So let me see if I've got a little bow, or I can make a little bow. Oh, I could make a little bow. I have these 2 red hearts that if I stitch them together would make kind of a cute little, see that? Look at shapes in different ways. There, those 2 little hearts back to back make the perfect bow. Haha.
Absolutely.
Also, I've got, perfect. I could do white instead.
That'll look cuter than crocheting it.
I think so. It's a much crisper, it's a much crisper
white
shape.
or red, everyone.
So
you've blown Nico's mind with the 2 hearts together. Jayda's not only a crochet guru genius, she's also a crafting guru genius.
I just score high in spatial awareness. That's it, guys. That's it. Nothing fancy over here.
Oh, let's see. The votes are coming in. It looks like the majority are voting for red over white.
All right. I think the bow is a great idea, as opposed to just putting on all of the... So a red bow as opposed to the white bow.
How about a red bow and just the tiniest little bit of white across the top just to look like it has some snow on it?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I might be able to do that. Let's worry about the bow first. So that's the red bow. Oh my gosh.
Adorable! Whee! Jayda, you want to dial down the cuteness?
No, I refuse to dial down the cuteness.
I don't think the camera can handle it.
It's buffering.
It's going to explode.
So that's the red bow. And here is the white version. So are we going red or white, everybody? We thinking red? I'm thinking...
I think it's overwhelming red for
all right.
the votes.
Red it is.
Yeah.
Krista with the idea. Chat with the selection. All right. I'm going to stitch this on. I think that is a great idea. I love how that worked out. So I'm going to pull out my needle and thread. And I'm going to... Now the trick is to stitch it tightly so that the little ends butt up against each other. So I'm going to get one into position first. And then I will get the other one into position. So I'm going to anchor my thread on the back of my little applique. And I was just thinking when I grabbed my water gang that because these are specific pieces, so the little wreath and the little windows are specific pieces to this version, as opposed to, like, this is an original, we've got this tutorial and this is all included in the pattern, doors, windows, etc. But these little guys are slightly different, so I'm going to quickly just add these little quick patterns to the description box of today's live stream after the live. So if you are following along later and you want to know what I did for the windows and the little wreath, we'll have that written down in the description box for you. So now I'm going to go side 1.
Dawn wants you to turn the cuteness up.
I agree with Dawn.
I don't know. It's too dangerous if she does.
So I'm going to make sure this is...
We're going to lose signal here.
I'm going to sew one heart into position, nice and snugly, and then I will get the other one in. So starting with one side, 2 simple little plastic heart beads. These probably came from a kid's craft kit, probably a Walmart thing. I think that's pretty sturdy. And now I want to make sure that this goes into the right place. So that first, all right, and now I'm just going to go right through both of them together, treating them like one single bead. And I might do that a couple times, and that will help kind of keep them in alignment with each other. So that's a 1. Yep. And 2. And that's about all the thread I've got for that. There. So that's my little bow at the bottom, and I'm just going to knot that on the back. And I think I'm just about running out of thread here, so let me snip my thread and free my needle. There we go. And needle back in case. Safety first. And I'm just going to weave that little tail through the back of my wreath. There we go. And trim any excess. There we go. Okay. One little wreath with a bow. That worked out well. Haha. Okay.
Fantastic idea with the bow.
I love it.
I forgot who mentioned that
Krista.
in the chat, but I love it.
Krista came up with that. I love that.
Krista, well done.
So now I'm going to stitch my little, and I like it too because it doesn't take away from, it doesn't take away from the lights. It doesn't take away from the beadwork. It's just like a little extra something that, you know, like every other little applique got a little something. So this needed something, but we don't need to overdo it because the shape of the wreath really speaks for itself.
Yes.
So here we go. I'm going to stitch this on now, same as I've been doing with the rest of the pieces. I make sure it's in a position that I like, and then I start grabbing loops on the
Jayda InStitches. Stitching it up.
Stitching it up.
Look how cute that is.
I want to make sure that it doesn't move or get out of alignment. So I'm going to pause frequently and just make sure I'm stitching it into the right place. And the more stuff...
You are getting overwhelming love in the chat right now. I know you're busy looking at your creative art there.
You guys.
Everyone is just loving it.
It's this community. See how all these different little ideas come together and create one cute project. And now we've got it cataloged here on the internet. So if you guys want to make one just like it, you can come back and watch this stream as many times as you need to.
There you
Fast
go.
forwarding if you just need to get to a special spot.
Yep.
And it's all there. All these great ideas all cataloged in one place, and then you can go ahead and make one for yourself. I love it. I love it.
I think all these hearts in the chat are for me.
They might be.
I thought they were for Jayda, but they might be for me.
I mean, I'd put them in the chat for you.
Yeah, do you?
Aha. Okay.
Yep, definitely for me.
Yeah.
That one from Krista's for me for sure.
Now, like I said earlier, if you make one of these to hang on the tree and you feel like it's just a little bit like floppy, just cut yourself a piece of cardboard that's shorter, so a bit smaller than the entire outline. So what you could do is just lay this down on a piece of paper and lightly trace around it with a pencil, and then go in about, I don't know, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, and retrace a line on the inside of that tracing. Cut that out, and then trace that onto cardboard, and I mean like cereal box cardboard or cookie box, or even plastic, flat plastic if you've got a piece of plastic packaging that's nice and flat. Just cut that out and then glue it on. You can even paint it so that it's a nice plain background. Glue it right on to your decoration, and that will help give it a little bit of stiffness. And it's an ornament. It doesn't matter that it's got like a little cardboard backing, especially if you paint it, or a little plastic backing or something, because it's an ornament and it'll help keep it stiff.
I was hiding in Jayda's bead collection, and I've popped out to inspect your work.
You've popped out to inspect my work?
I'm inspecting. Can you see me there on the screen?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay. Well, I approve. I approve of this craft.
Yeah, and that also goes for, let's say you do some stitching or some embroidery or some sewing onto your applique or your piece, and you do have messy in the back. Don't worry, just cut a little cardboard piece that matches the back, paint it so it's plain, let it dry, and then just glue it on, and then you've covered up the back of your thing. So I'm just going to get this sewn down.
The gingerbread ornament almost looks edible.
It is really cute.
I think it was Samantha asked. Was it Samantha? Yes. Would you be able to do a gnome granny square?
A gnome granny square.
And I was thinking, our little gnome?
Yes.
Wouldn't he look cute in a granny square?
Yes.
A 2D version? I like that idea.
I do too. That would be really cute. A gnome granny square.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun idea. I'd have to give that some thought, but of course, anything's possible. Anything is possible when it comes to crochet, because you're basically just mixing together some stitches and colors. So I'm going to say absolutely yes. I'll have to give that some thought, but that would be really cute. It would be super easy to make a gnome applique to add to the center of a granny square. So that would be super doable. I'll have to give
Jessica Rabbit says, how about a troll granny square? And I say, yes, 100%. That's a must.
A troll granny square. Yeah.
Troll granny square. Full blanket.
So I'm just knotting off here. I'm going to make sure that that knot is nice and tight and small. And then I'm going to poke my needle from underneath back out through the front and weave it through a few stitches just so that it kind of disappears and I know that it's not going to unravel on me. Also kind of gives it a little bit of definition. This is Fair Isle Friday week, believe it or not, because Friday is the 1st of December, but that's still technically the first Friday in December. So this week is the Fair Isle blanket tutorial for December. That wraps up all 12 of the designs, and we will have a blanket border tutorial coming later. But
I'm just inspecting your work.
Are you still inspecting?
Yeah.
If you're in a hurry, so after
everything checks out here.
If after this Friday you've still got like you want to get the blanket finished and you don't want to wait around for the pattern, the border, the specific border, You can use the border tutorials that we did for the folk art calendar blanket, for the Tunisian calendar blanket, and for the patchwork calendar blanket. So because we did a double crochet base, so the majority of this year's blanket is based on double crochet, you can use any of those 3 existing borders as the border for your Fair Isle blanket border if you're in a hurry. So that's a nice simple border. Any of those 3 will do. And if you wanted to get done a bit quicker, then go ahead. But we will have a special border for that blanket too, if you've got the time to wait around. And it won't be too far into the future. We're going to try and get it done ASAP. But all right, I don't want to mess with this anymore. I think this is a complete gingerbread house ornament. It's got little windows and a door. I love the little heart doorknob. It's got a wreath with a bow on it, which I can kind of make sort of hang to the side. And we've even got little Christmas lights up the roof edge where I've added frosting. So once again, it's this short 1-story townhouse pattern. So we've got the tutorial for this, and I did the one that's all the same color. So instead of breaking for the roof, I just continued all the way up in the same color, and then I added that little extra roof line in white to look like frosting or to look like snow on the roof. So we've got a tutorial for this whole thing. Same thing with the door. Door is exactly the same. I've just used a smaller hook for this. This is a G6. That was an I9 or 4mm, 5.5mm. So the tutorial that we've got linked down below will give you the house parameters. It'll give you the door parameters. There's a whole bunch of extra applique options in that tutorial. So if there were other little added extras you wanted to put on your house for personalization, there's a lot in that tutorial, including like French knotwork and all that stuff too. I will include the simple little round windows we did for this one and the little wreath. I'll write those up and put them in the description box of today's live crochet along, because they're kind of special and extra to the original pattern, which we do have in our shop. And the rest is just adding little beads and bits and bobs. So I've sewn mine on. You can always glue yours on. Remember, you can also add a backing to it if you want to. I think mine's pretty stiff because I went down to the smaller hook size, so it's gonna hang just fine. I added a ribbon. I just literally looped it through the top stitch there on the roof. And there we go. One gingerbread house, a little flat 2-dimensional gingerbread house hanging ornament for the Christmas tree based on our folk art townhouse applique. I love it. I love how this worked out. Thank you guys so much. This was such a fun little crochet along day. Not bad for a Monday as we careen into the holiday season. We've got the link for that tutorial in the description box, the link to our Etsy shops in the description box. It's the last day of our Black Friday sale, so big thank you to everybody who's popped in and bought a few patterns. We really appreciate your support. And like Mr. InStitches said, if they've got anything in your basket, today's the last day. This is the biggest price reduction we do all year. So everything in the shop is 25% off. And no, unlike corporations, we don't jack the prices first and then pretend to rebate it. We actually take the whole shop and just put it 25% off. So that's a real 25% off, not a fake one, because we're not jerks. And this little pattern is one of them. I put it up front. So if you're interested in taking a look at that, at least pop over and take a look at all the photographs. You can see all the different photos we did. And we have a tutorial for it. Break out your craft supplies. Have fun. Get your glue out. Don't take it too seriously. When you're making little things to hang on the tree, they don't have to be super, you don't have to be like super careful with it like you would be if you were making something that you were going to wear or something that maybe somebody was going to play with, because it's just meant to hang there and look decorative. So if you don't want to sew, don't. Just glue the stuff down. It works just as well. And, you know, get that incredible creative engine going that we all have tucked away in our heads. And look at what comes out when we have these live streams. So much fun.
Do you have any ideas for making our Santa pillow into a Mrs. Claus Santa pillow?
Oh, I'd have to give that a bit of thought. She doesn't really wear a big belt, and she wears more of a dress, and she's got a little frilly cap on usually. I'm thinking about all the sort of the quintessential cartoon images of Mrs. Claus I've seen. I'd have to give that a little bit of thought. She wouldn't have a beard. She'd just have a smiling little face and maybe rosy cheeks. I don't know. Leave that with me, everybody, and I'll see what I can come up with. I'd have to sort of sketch out a few ideas, because our Santa pillow, we also have an elf version of that, and I know people have asked for a Mrs. Claus and a couple other ones, and I just, it's one of those projects that I really want to get to, but then I get sidetracked with things like this, so I will have to give that a little bit of thought. Thank you guys so much. I hope we get the chance to sort of hang out with you a little bit more this week. We'll see. We will not be doing live streams all this week, but we will have other stuff for you. On Friday, it's Fair Isle Friday, so our December Fair Isle style tutorial will be up Friday. And we do have more live streams coming as we head into December. So we went all last week, every single day. We're going to sort of kind of get back off the gas this week because this is an intense week for us getting the Fair Isle blanket sorted, and we also want to try and get the blanket border also filmed and recorded and edited and all that as quickly as we can for you guys. So lots of work behind the scenes this week, but we're still here. So if you have comments, please leave them underneath our videos. Feel free to pop into our shop and message us if you have questions about our patterns or anything, or if you just want to share photographs. And if you do share a photograph with us and it's okay to share with the community, please just let us know in your message that it's okay to share, because we respect people's privacy and we don't want to just turn around and share willy-nilly, in case you're sharing a picture that you just kind of want us to see, and that's that. We understand that. So
keep the willy-nilly to a minimum.
Keep the willy-nilly to the silly.
To the absolute minimum.
Yeah. So that's great. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. We'll see you soon. If not before, then definitely Friday. And take care. Stay safe. Have a wonderful week. And get cozy. Get crafty. And if you make any of these, please share pictures at the Etsy shop with us. I would love to see what you guys come up with. I will definitely be making more, because now I'm obsessed with this. There's always something on the craft table that I can't get enough of. Anything to add, Mr. InStitches?
No, I think you covered it all.
I have to put all my beads away now.
That is it for today.
Wonderful.
We'll see everyone on Friday, I guess.
Right. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.